I just asked for directions, but it turned into something else. So this happened a couple weeks ago. I had a random day off, like no plans, no work, just me in the city. I thought I'd take advantage of it, go out, maybe find this little used bookstore someone told me about. I hadn't been there before. Somewhere tucked in a corner of downtown, kind of hidden away. You know those places that don't really show up on Google Maps, or if they do, you can't tell if it still exists or if the photos are like from 2011. Yeah, it was one of those. Anyway, I got on the metro, headphones in, listening to this chill playlist I'd made for walking around. The weather was decent. Not too hot, not cold, kind of that perfect in-between where you don't sweat but you're not shivering either. I was feeling pretty good. I got off 2 stops early just to walk a bit more. So I'm walking, following the map on my phone like everyone else, and I swear the dot just starts spinning. You know when the GPS gets all confused. Like I'm standing still, and it keeps turning me in circles. I stop on a corner, try to reset the app. And now the bookstore is apparently behind me. But 2 seconds ago it was 3 blocks ahead. Decide. I wasn't in a rush, but still, nothing makes you feel more ridiculous than standing in the middle of the sidewalk doing a 360 while staring at your phone like it's gonna suddenly shout, "You're here," or something. That's when I saw her. This older woman sitting on a little folding chair outside what looked like a flower shop. She had this huge straw hat on and was sipping something from a thermos. The kind of person that looks like she's been sitting in that exact spot since forever. She looked like she knew every brick on the street. I hesitated. I mean, asking for directions feels so unnecessary nowadays, you know? Like we all have phones. But I figured, why not? Maybe she knows. So I walked over, took off one of my headphones and said, "Hi, sorry to bother you, but do you know where Willow Books is?" She looked up at me, smiled with this kind of amused look and said, "You're the 3rd person to ask me that today." Then she laughed a little. "It's not where the map says it is anymore. They moved." Turns out she actually knew the owner. Said they'd moved like 6 months ago. Just around the corner and down an alley I never would have walked down if I hadn't asked. She gave me these very precise directions. Turn left at the mural of the hummingbird. Go past the little bakery with the red door. And then it's in this courtyard with ivy growing up the walls. I thanked her and started to walk away, but then she said, "You know, I always like when people still ask. Feels nice. Reminds me of when we didn't have all these devices telling us where to go." I just nodded, smiled. Didn't really know what to say, but something about that stuck with me. So I followed her directions, and sure enough, there it was. Hidden and quiet like a secret. The bookstore had this tiny sign, and inside it was all wood shelves and that amazing old book smell. I must have stayed for an hour, flipping through pages, talking to the guy behind the counter who clearly loved books more than people. In a good way. But the part that really stayed with me happened after I left. I was walking back, passing the flower shop again, and the woman was still there, still sipping her drink. I gave her a little wave and said, "Found it, thanks again." She nodded like she already knew I would. Then she said, "That alley scares off the phones, but not the curious ones." I laughed. "Guess I passed the test." "More people should," she replied, like it meant something more than just directions. I walked off smiling. And I don't know, man, there was just something about that. I kept thinking about how easy it is to go through the day not talking to anyone unless you have to. Like how many people walked past her and didn't even see her. She just blended in. And here I was just looking for a bookstore, and I ended up having this little interaction that, honestly, kind of made my whole day feel warmer somehow. Sometimes I think we miss those small things when we rely on screens too much. Like, yeah, the map's useful, but it doesn't smile at you, you know? It doesn't tell you a weird little phrase that sticks in your head all afternoon. And now, whenever my GPS freaks out, I actually kind of welcome it. Feels like maybe the universe is telling me to just ask someone. Look up. Talk to a real person. You never know who's sitting in a folding chair, ready to help you find your way. Not just to a place, but maybe back to something we've kind of forgotten how to do. So yeah, that was the day I got lost trying to find a bookstore and ended up finding something else too. Just by asking for directions.